It means you've held on to your madness. And no, I don't mean the kind that lands you in trouble with your neighbors or gets you chased by security at the airport for dancing on the conveyor belt. Though, if that's your thing, I respect it. I'm talking about the kind of madness that lives quietly inside us. The madness that makes life a little less serious and a lot more magical. You see, when we're young, madness is our natural state. We believe in things, big things, impossible things. We believe we can become astronauts and movie stars and inventors of time machines. We believe we can fly if we jump high enough from the sofa. We wear capes made of bed sheets and pretend we're saving the world. And here's the crazy part. We actually believe we can. But somewhere along the way, life throws textbooks at us. Bills, deadlines, rejections, responsibilities. And slowly, bit by bit, we start hiding that madness. We trade it in for logic, for being realistic. We stop dancing without a reason. We stop singing in the shower like we're on a world tour. We stop laughing so hard that our stomach hurts. We stop dreaming with our eyes wide open. But if you look younger than your age, it probably means you didn't let all of that get to you. You held on to that madness like it was your secret superpower. You still do silly things, you make funny faces in the mirror when no one's watching, you burst into impromptu dance moves in your kitchen when your favorite song comes on, you talk to your plants, or maybe even your shoes, and honestly believe they're listening. You still find joy in chasing pigeons at the park, or jumping into puddles when it rains, even if the world says you're too old for that nonsense. That madness, that playful, unpredictable energy, that's what keeps the soul young. That's what gives your eyes that mischievous sparkle. That's what keeps the laugh lines on your face from turning into frown lines. People often ask me, Shah Rukh, how do you stay so youthful? And I say, it's not about how many push-ups I can do. It's about how many times I can still fall flat on my face and laugh like a child. It's about never losing the thrill of chasing something stupidly beautiful, even when the odds don't make sense. There's a kind of madness in loving without guarantees, in showing up for life with arms wide open, even when yesterday broke your heart, in creating something just because it makes your heart race, not because it makes you money, in believing in happy endings, even if the world has trained you to expect plot twists. The truth is, the people who look younger than their age are not drinking some magical potion or bathing in unicorn tears. They're just the ones who haven't let the world dull their shine. They haven't let the noise of the world drown out the music inside them. And let me tell you something, the world doesn't make it easy. It will try to convince you that growing older means growing colder, that maturity means suppressing your passions, that being an adult means you can't be wild or weird or wonderfully spontaneous. But if you've held on to your madness, you know that's not true. You know that the real maturity is learning how to keep the child within you alive and making peace with them. Yes, there will be days when life feels like a black and white film with no background score. But if you've got madness in your blood, you'll paint it in color. You'll whistle your own soundtrack. You'll add a dramatic pause before every big decision and say, cut, let's do one more take. You'll remember that life isn't a spreadsheet, it's a screenplay. And madness is the hero. So if people say you look younger than your age, maybe it's because you never stop being curious. You never stop playing. You never stop laughing at stupid jokes or making up your own. You never stop being fascinated by the moon or the smell of books or the magic of a well-timed wink. You held on to your madness, and that madness held on to you. Like a favorite song from your childhood that you still remember the words to. Like a secret dance move that you only pull out when the lights are low and the music's just right. That's the kind of madness that keeps the wrinkles away, not on your skin, but on your soul. So if you've still got it, if your madness is alive and kicking, don't ever let it go. Embrace it. Celebrate it. Let it embarrass your friends at parties and charm strangers on the street. Because that madness, my friend, is your youth in disguise. And it's the most beautiful thing about you. It means your scars didn't turn into bitterness. We all have them, scars, some visible, most hidden. Not the kind you get from falling off a bicycle when you were 6. I'm talking about the ones life gives you. When people leave, when dreams collapse, when the world shows you its unkindness, and you're left wondering what you did wrong. And still, here you are. Smiling, living, glowing even. Looking younger than your age, not because life has been gentle with you, but because you didn't let it harden you. That's the real miracle. The world often tells us that pain makes us wiser, stronger, tougher, and it does. But it can also make you cold, guarded, bitter, suspicious of joy, allergic to love, reluctant to trust. Because when you've been hurt enough, building walls starts to feel safer than building bridges. But if someone looks at you and says, "You don't look your age," what they might really be saying is, "You've been through storms and somehow you didn't become the storm. You let the scars shape you, but not define you. You let them teach you, but not close your heart." That's a rare kind of strength, the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't shout, the kind that chooses softness even after the world has been sharp. Maybe you've had your heart broken, maybe more than once, but instead of becoming bitter about love, you became better at it. You learned how to love yourself. You learned how to heal, how to forgive, not for them, but for your own peace. You didn't let disappointment turn you into someone who stops hoping. You still look at people and believe in the good. You still trust, even if it takes you a little longer now. You still laugh with your whole face. You still cry when something touches your soul. That's not weakness. That's survival with style. The truth is, every scar you carry tells a story. Not of damage, but of recovery. Not of defeat, but of resilience. And maybe the reason you look younger than your years is because you never stopped choosing light, even when all you had was darkness. You didn't become cynical. You didn't become cruel. You didn't start seeing love as a transaction. You didn't begin believing that kindness is weakness. You stayed human. And that's the most powerful rebellion in a world that's constantly trying to harden us. There's something incredibly youthful about someone who has lived through pain but still believes in beauty, who has been betrayed but still believes in friendship, who's had long nights of loneliness but still finds joy in a stranger's smile. It means you didn't let your pain fester into poison. You didn't let your wounds turn into weapons. You didn't project your past onto your future. That's grace. That's maturity with warmth. That's what keeps your spirit young and your presence magnetic. Bitterness ages you, not just in your expression, but in your energy. It makes you carry an invisible weight that slows you down, makes your smile forced, your laugh shorter. But you let go. You didn't forget, no, but you chose not to be held hostage by your history. Maybe you took the long road, maybe you stumbled, maybe you cried in silence when no one was watching, but still you kept walking. And somehow, despite everything, you kept your heart open. Looking younger than your age doesn't just come from good genes or green smoothies. It comes from inner peace, from healing, from not letting life steal your softness. It's in the way you still get excited about little things, in the way you still look at sunsets like they're magic, in the way you speak to yourself gently, because you've already survived your own worst days. You didn't let your scars become stories of bitterness. You let them become chapters of wisdom. You didn't build a fortress around your soul. You built a garden, a place where pain was composted into compassion. So if someone tells you that you look younger than your age, take it as a deeper compliment. They're not just noticing your skin, they're noticing your soul. They're seeing the kindness in your eyes that no bitterness could extinguish. They're feeling the warmth in your presence that can only come from someone who has bled and healed and still chosen to love. And remember, we're all scarred, all marked by moments we wish had gone differently. But some of us choose to carry those scars like medals, not because we're proud of the pain, but because we're proud of the way we walked through it. You didn't let it turn you cold. You didn't let it take your shine. You didn't let it change your essence. And that, my friend, is why you still glow. That is why you still look timeless. Because nothing ages faster than bitterness, and nothing keeps you younger than a heart that refuses to stop loving. It means your heart is still in rehearsal. And that, my friend, is one of the most beautiful things anyone could say about you. You see, when your heart is still in rehearsal, it means you haven't called cut on life. It means you're still showing up, still learning your lines, still trying to get the scene right, even if you've messed it up 100 times before. A heart in rehearsal is not perfect, but it's alive. It's not polished, but it's passionate. It doesn't have all the answers, but it's still asking the right questions. It's still beating for something, someone, somewhere. Most people think growing older means you become certain, settled, resolved, like a completed painting hung on a wall, framed and untouchable. But looking younger than your age, that's a sign your heart didn't accept that ending. It stayed backstage in the wings, still practicing, still trying new expressions, still changing the lines, still playing with the music. You didn't let yourself become a final draft. You chose to stay a work in progress. And that's rare. You still believe there's more to feel, more to experience, more to give, more to love. That's what keeps you young, not just in body, but in soul. You're not done. You don't want to be. You're still discovering new things about yourself, still surprising yourself, still getting nervous about the unknown. And isn't that what youth is all about? That sense of possibility, that space where anything can still happen. Maybe you're still learning how to love better, how to say sorry without ego, how to forgive without resentment, how to hold someone without needing to control them. Maybe you're still figuring out how to let go of people, of expectations, of the version of yourself you no longer recognize. A heart in rehearsal doesn't fake strength. It trembles. It forgets its line sometimes. It overreacts. It stumbles. But it keeps coming back. It keeps trying. Because somewhere deep inside, it still believes that the greatest act is yet to come. Think about it. When do we feel most alive? Not when everything is perfect and scripted, but when we're unsure, when we're taking risks, when we're standing at the edge of something unfamiliar and saying, let's try this. That's the spirit of a young heart, not afraid to begin again, not afraid to mess up, not afraid to feel too much. And isn't that what keeps us glowing? That willingness to stay open, to be vulnerable, even after the world told us to toughen up, to fall in love even after heartbreak, to chase a dream even if it laughed in our face before. That's what a rehearsing heart does. It keeps faith in the story. It keeps showing up for the role of a lifetime, being fully, deeply, unapologetically human. When people say you look younger than your age, maybe it's not because your skin is smooth or your hair hasn't grayed. Maybe it's because your energy still carries a question mark instead of a period. Maybe it's because you still get excited by possibility. Because you still imagine, you still daydream, you still get butterflies even if it's just over a good song, a warm cup of chai, or a smile from across the room. You haven't settled into the comfort of certainty. You haven't resigned to the idea that this is it. No, your heart is still out there, auditioning for joy, still seeking magic in the ordinary, still trying new steps, new melodies, new monologues. And yes, sometimes that means pain. Rehearsal is messy. It comes with rejection, with repetition, with mistakes that make you cringe. But it also comes with growth, with unexpected breakthroughs, with moments where you finally hit the note just right and your soul dances quietly inside your chest. You're not done blooming. You haven't retired your passion. You're not living in reruns. You're still writing new episodes of your life. That's youth. That's vibrancy. That's why people say you don't look your age. because your heart refuses to act it. You still laugh like you're discovering joy for the first time. You still cry when something beautiful moves you. You still fall in love with sunsets, with voices, with poetry, with possibilities. You're not hardened. You're not frozen in the past. You're still in motion, emotionally and spiritually. That motion is your magic. It's what keeps your eyes bright, your voice warm, your presence magnetic. You're not stuck in who you were 10 years ago, or even 10 minutes ago. You've given yourself the freedom to keep becoming. So if your heart is still in rehearsal, I say bravo, encore, keep going, forget the curtain calls. You've already won the audience because you had the courage to stay soft, the courage to keep trying, the courage to be someone new every single day. And that's the most youthful thing anyone can ever be.